Hey, family. Have you guys wondered why there were so many teenage killings? Have you guys wondered why so many teenagers across the world are in an uproar? Now, I'm not saying this to say that all teenagers are bad. We got some great teenagers out here and they're doing great things. But we have a lot, if not the majority, of our teenagers out here are being real disruptive. And pretty much to the fact where they're out of control. Now, you notice when they end up going to jail as teenagers and they are giving them sentences of adults, it's because there's no accountability. And the reason why there's no accountability is because we dropped the ball. Yeah, family, we dropped the ball. Let's dig into this. Good, family. It's your boy Reggie T. Thank you for joining me with another 7 Keys of Life to Ready to Mind. Family, it says it takes a village to raise a child. That means all of us. It takes all of us. In some way, somehow, we didn't drop the ball. We literally dropped the ball. Raising our kids, raising them. Some of us, like myself, I didn't really know how to play the game as far as raising my child and raising my kids and doing right by them. I did the best I could. I stood there and I did the best I could. But I just didn't do good enough. Then there's those who know how to play the game or claim they know how to play the game of raising a child, having a family. But instead of them doing that, they walked off the court. Instead of just picking up the ball and playing with the child, they literally walked off the court. Now I'm going to tell you something. By people like myself, it's a lot of us out here who didn't know how to raise a child, but did the best we could with what we had to raise our child to the best of our ability. And then you have those who claim they know how to raise a child, claim they know how to play the game, but yet still them are the very same ones that walk out. Them the same ones that leave them kids staring there and wondering what did they do when they ain't did nothing. Now we leaving our kids vulnerable to these streets. We leaving these kids vulnerable to a world that they was not meant to win. That's why they needed us. That's why they needed us to be by their side. Look, I'm gonna talk about 6 things that it don't make a difference what culture you come from, don't make no difference where your income level is. All of us go through the raising of a child. And most of us, whether we're rich, whether we're poor, we go through it. And it's hard. It ain't easy. Okay? But at the same time, we got to stick in. We got to be there for them. I don't know what's going on right now today. But these kids right now are killing each other. Literally killing each other. They're killing the elderly. And on top of that, they own parents. Some of them's own parents, own mothers are scared of them. That's how bad it's got. And all I want to say, family, I'm not faulting nobody for this, okay? I'm not putting the blame on one particular person. I'm saying all of us are at fault for this, including myself. You know, I didn't raise kids myself too. And for the grace of God that, you know, ain't none of them dead, ain't none of them, you know, been in no gangs, ain't none of them out there selling dope or selling drugs, or ain't none of them out there messed up on drugs or messed up on dope or messed up on alcohol. I've been blessed by the grace of God. And this doesn't mean that I didn't go through my trials and my tribulations with all of them. But at the same time, with myself, their mother, we did the best we could. And thank God, we can say that we're pretty much proud of our kids. Which they're not kids anymore, family, they grown. Okay? But getting to my point. In 2025, we didn't just walk away. We didn't just drop the ball, family. We literally walked off the court. And again, I'm going to repeat this one more time. And our children are playing a game they were never meant to win. Especially without us giving them the schooling and giving them the understanding that they need. Some of us just didn't know how to do it. I was one of them. I'm admitted to myself, I was one of them. It's no excuse. It's no excuse. I'm just saying I did the best I can. I know a lot of you probably looking at this saying the same thing. You did the best you could. But let's go here. Again, as I said earlier, number one, this has nothing to do with culture. This has nothing to do with income. It doesn't matter what your income is. It doesn't matter what culture you come from. All of us as parents go through what we go through when it comes to raising our children. Okay? Technology has played a big part in this. It has become the teacher, and the internet has become the mentor. And the home, well, the home is just now a place to sleep. And that's sad, man. No wonder why they doing what they doing. No wonder why they living the life they living. Because they have no values. They have no identity of really who they are. That's our job. And like I said, most of us have dropped the ball. 3, there was a time when we had some home training. How many of you remember home training? Well, ain't no home training today. Seemed like the home training back in the days, home training was something that it meant something. You know, it taught you how to be a man, or taught you how to be a woman. It taught you how to come into the world and be the best you that you can be. But when you take in the God out of the schools, you're promoting pornography, you're promoting gay and lesbian, you're promoting all these things. None of these things has the values that our children need growing up. Look, I see these kids every day. These kids are like 14, 15 years old. I'm talking about these teenagers, they teeny bops. Some of them males, little boys, gay, and like they proud of it. So some of the females. Now, listen, I'm not the type of person to tell you to be to be what I want you. All I'm saying is, I know what God meant us to be, and my God meant us as males to be with a female. That's another story. But that is part of the problem. Respect wasn't optional. Respect was given. Period. Responsibilities was expected in the home. This is what we need when we need home training. We need this. We need this for our kids. Let me tell you something. They took away so much stuff out the schools. This is what society did. Society has a role in this too. I'm finna break all this down. So I have to go through my notes. But I'm gonna break all this down to you. But yeah, society has a big problem. A big problem in this too. A big problem. But before we get to society, let's talk about how now we have outsourced our parenting. Everybody else is raising our kids but us. We've silenced correction, meaning we can't speak on things that we feel that ain't right. Now we have to be silent about it. We've abandoned the altar. No spirituality. It used to be a time where, we went to church and we read the Bible. We did these things. Well, number 4, we talk about the biblical anchor. Biblical anchor. It reminds me of Proverbs 22:6 that says, train up a child in the way they should go. And when they are grown, they will not depart. That is Proverbs 22:6. We don't do that no more. But see, the problem is somewhere along the way, stop the home training. somewhere along the way, we forgot how to raise a child, or we forgot what we need to do in order to make sure our child has the best that they need to have. Family, I ain't gonna lie, I did drop the ball. Now, some of my kids would be like, "No, Reg, Dad, you did a good job." Okay, fine. Then my baby boy, he'll be like, "No, you didn't do a good job." But if you ask me, I did the best I could with what I worked with. Okay, that's here and over there. Let's talk about number 5, society. Society's role. Now, society plays a big part, a very big part in this. Society celebrates rebellion instead of them. For instance, it used to be a time where you wouldn't talking back to your parents. You wouldn't have no conversation of back and forth, back and forth. It is what I say, and that's it. Now we got to have a sit down. We got to have a talk. Now I understand that we should sit down and talk to our children. Okay, a lot of us don't do that because a lot of us don't even have the time to do that. We working 1 or 2 jobs. Those who are taking care of their kids and doing what they can for their kids. It's hard to be there for your kids when you got an 8-hour or 10-hour job that you got to go to. It's hard to be there for them, to cook for them, to make sure things are right the way it's supposed to be for them. Excuse me, when you got to be on the job for 8 to 10 hours a day. Instead of you working around the job, you got to work around your family. You got to work the job and work around your family. You got to work around your daily life when you shouldn't have to do that. But these were part of the things that messed up society. These were part of the things that, for instance, when I was growing up, punishing a child with the paddle that was child abuse. Well, I didn't turn out too bad. I got my share of paddles when I was in school. I understand how society is now. I understand how most parents don't want the teachers or no school representative to put their hands on their kids. I get that. I understand that. But what I also understand is that you guys are not doing what you're supposed to do and raising your child right. Now, I'm not saying that kids are going to be holier than thou and Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Kids are mischievous. Kids are going to be kids. All of us are kids. So, of course, they need to be steered and they need to be corrected. But also, they need to be loved. And somewhere we forgot about the love. We forgot about the correction. All we think about is how we gonna pay these bills. That's what we thinking about now. How we gonna pay this rent? How we gonna keep food in the house? Parents are too much worried about things of that nature instead of worrying about their child. When you got a parent who says, "Well, I'm gonna work nights," you know what I'm saying, so I can stay at home, make sure my kids stuff get back and forth to school, and I can make sure they gotta cook dinner for them when they get home. That way I can go to work. But that's now you're allowing you give responsibility to your kids, but kids at that age doesn't need that type of responsibility. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. A lot of things goes on when parents are not at home, and kids gonna do what kids do, especially teenagers. Some of them is not gonna even be at home. Some of them gonna be out in the streets. And now I'm from the city of Cleveland, so I'm from the state of Ohio. And the state of Ohio now, well, I don't know about the state of Ohio, let me correct that. But the city of Cleveland for sure has now put responsibility on the parents where it's supposed to be. If your child is out at 13, 14 years old, out in the streets doing things they ain't supposed to be doing, we're not going to deal with that. We are not about to deal with that. That means you're going to take responsibility. If your child out there robbing cars and things of that nature, that's going to come back on you. Now, that's just the way society is now. Society takes everything from you. You can't even punish your child no more. They can call 696 kids on you. So now you can't punish your child. If it ain't one thing, it's something else. So they're taking away all the responsibilities that a parent need to be doing for their child. But at the same time, they want you to be on there for your child, to take care of you, do the things you need to do for your child. How can you do that when I'm at work for 8 to 10 hours? Whether it's in the daytime or the nighttime. It's going to be a time where I'm not going to be there guiding and watching over them. I'm going to have to allow them to watch over themselves. And a lot of times that's not good. That's why you have a lot of things that's going on in the world. It's a lot of factors that goes into this. But in society roles, society has a lot to play in this. But with that being said, we can't blame society on everything. Like I said, we have our own responsibilities too that we have to do. We have to make sure that we are raising our kids to be respectful. It is so many disrespectful kids out here today. Lord, it's baffling. It was a time where you wouldn't think about cursing away from home because you didn't want nobody, one of your parents' friends or somebody, or your auntie or somebody to see you on the bus or hear you. Or you just had that respect because you knew that you weren't supposed to do that. Kids don't have that respect. Kids curse in front of me like I'm not even there. And I have to look at them and say, excuse me, I am an adult. Do you have any respect? No, they don't, because they don't even have respect for themselves. Why is that? Why is it like that? Well, there's a lot of factors that's involved in that now. Let's talk about number 6. This is why my 7 P's that I practice each and every day. This is why my 7 P's are very, very important. Even in this matter right here. Because once you hit prosperity, prosperity is not just about financial. Prosperity is about every part of your life. Prosperity is about being whole. And being whole means raising your family, being the right parent you're supposed to be. Let me just break this. Let me break number 6 down. I got it in 3 categories. Number 6. Number 1 of number 6 says parenting. It is not just about provisions. It's about being present in the child's life. As I just got through saying, how it's hard for us to be present in their lives when we got to go make that money. That's one of the problems. 2, purpose, which we should model, not just preach. Now, a little backstory on me, my baby boy. This is exactly right. I was present in my son's life. I provided him. But instead of me talking to him, trying to get some understanding from him and him getting understanding from me, I preached to him. Dictate. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't need no babies. Now he's in his 20s at this time when he was having his fallout. And I had to find out that his now wife was pregnant with their first child. And I had to find out on Facebook. And that's why I had to literally find out on Facebook. But once he broke everything down to me, he said, look, Dad, I didn't want to come. I didn't want to say nothing to you because you was going to be disappointed. I ain't want to hear all that. You wasn't going to support me. You wasn't going to do this. And you know what? I understand how he felt. And I told him, I said, you know what? I was dead wrong, son. I was dead wrong. Instead of me talking to him and trying to get some understanding from him, I didn't do that. I started preaching to him and badgering. Every time I see him, strap it up. Gotta rub on. You don't need no babies. You can't do this. You don't need to be doing that. My son, and at this time, my son was in his early 20s. But I'm looking at the fact that, you know what I'm saying, he's a good guy. He's a good young man. He ain't got no kids. He ain't got nothing going for him right now. He need to start building right now before he start having children. And instead of me trying to explain that to him the right way, I didn't. So therefore, I didn't know. I had to find out on Facebook. It is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. This is what I mean by I dropped the ball. All of us have dropped the ball at many times when it comes to our kids. But the point is, dropping the ball is one thing. We can make up for that. And this is we're going to number 7. We're going to call action. And the last thing in number 6, which is number 3, the last P. I added these added P's to prosperity. Purpose was 2, and 3 is principle. Listen, we must live not just as okay, so I'm a Christian, so I gotta wear a cross. Look, no. If you're a Christian, then do right by a Christian as what a Christian do. In other words, be a model. Show the principles that you have and be a model of those principles. Therefore, all of us can see. Everybody can see. And they can see exactly what type of person you is. You made it in this world. You got your thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell you nothing. You know. You got to have that. You got to have the principles. You got to have the principles. You got to have the purpose. And you got to be a good parent. Not just providing, but being there as a parent. Not just preaching to them, but listening to them. Because we need them to listen. We need them to listen to us. And we also need to listen to them. Now, let's go for a call to action, family. It's time to step back into the game. What I mean by that is, it's time for us to coach with conviction. That's number 1. Number 2, it's time for us to rebuild the home as a place of teaching, correction, and love. All 3 of those things. Number 3, to introduce prayer back into the homes, back into the schools, back to where it was and where it needed to be. Read the scriptures with our kids and worship daily as a daily rhythm. This is what I do every day. And this is what I do around my kids every day. And most times they join. Because this is the life that I'm living. Number 4, to reclaim our role, not just as parents, but as stewards of the next generation family. Because that is our responsibility. We are our brother's keeper. And that's facts. That is real talk. I need you to renew your mind. In conclusion, family, we dropped the ball. But by the grace of God, we can pick it back up. We can pick that ball back up and shoot that shot. Let our children shoot their shot. So they won't be out here playing a game they ain't meant to win. They can play the game. Be winners in it. That's facts. That's real talk. Renew your mind. It's your boy Reggie T. Thank you for joining me with another 7 Keys of Life to Renew Your Mind. I hope that you got something out of this. And I hope that you make a comment. I'm hoping that you subscribe. I'm hoping that you like it. So please smash that like button and make a comment. Let me know what you want. And maybe we can come together. Again, it's your boy Ray T. I'm out. Peace.